Welcome to Lattes and Lattes, the podcast where we blend the world of law and business with a warm cup of information and common sense. I'm your host, Sidney Wheelan, attorney, real estate investor, and business owner. Each week, we'll be your go-to source for legal insights, business advice, and so much more. Whether you're a seasoned professional, an ambitious entrepreneur, or simply someone seeking guidance, we'll have you covered. From navigating the legal landscape to empowering you with valuable business strategies, we'll explore the legal side of life and enjoy a virtual latte along the way. So, grab your favorite latte, get comfortable, and let's dive in to Lattes and Lattes. Welcome back to Lattes and Lattes, the podcast where we talk about the law in a way that's practical, empowering, and human. I'm your host, Sidney Wheelan, founder of the Wheelan Law Firm, now serving North Central Missouri businesses and families in 3 convenient locations: Moberly, Carrollton, and now in Paris. I'm so glad you're here, especially at the beginning of a brand new year. There's something about January that makes us reflective, hopeful, motivated, and sometimes a little overwhelmed. We set goals, we make resolutions, we buy planners, download apps, read books, listen to podcasts, maybe even this one, and we'll tell ourselves, this is the year. And yet, by February or March, many of those goals quietly fade away. Today, I want to talk about why that happens, and more importantly, what actually makes goals stick. But the truth is, the secret ingredient to any successful goal or resolution isn't willpower, and it's not discipline, and it's definitely not the perfect plan. It's something deeper. The problem with perfect plans: if success were as simple as following a checklist, we'd all be wildly successful. One book, one podcast episode, one seminar. But that's not how real life works, especially for families, business owners, and women carrying a lot of responsibility. We don't fail because we don't know what to do. We fail because the plan doesn't fit how we think, how we live, or what we value. I want to invite you to read a book I recently reread from my long list of favorites in the personal development world. The book is The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. The author introduced a concept that I believe is one of the most overlooked truths about success. Big breakthroughs don't come from massive, dramatic changes. They come from small, consistent choices made over time. But those choices only happen when there's a mindset shift first, a philosophy. Without a philosophy, every plan eventually collapses under pressure. Why philosophy matters more than the plan? A philosophy answers important questions. Why does this matter to me? What kind of life am I actually trying to build? How do I make decisions when things get hard or they're unclear? When you don't have clarity, every new idea feels tempting, and every obstacle feels defeating. When you do have it, you don't need a cookie-cutter plan. You need a framework. That brings me to the philosophy I want to introduce to you this year. Today, I want to share the philosophy behind my legal advice, my businesses, my podcast, and honestly, my life. Build it, protect it, and pass it on. This isn't a slogan. It's not hustle culture. It's a framework for creating a life and a legacy that doesn't fall apart when circumstances change. This is the lens through which I view my work as a lawyer, a business owner, and a guide for families. And over the next season of this podcast, we're going to unpack what each of those words really mean. Why this philosophy exists. I've been practicing law long enough to see a pattern. People are incredible builders. They build businesses, careers, families, farms, properties, and lives they're proud of. They're earning, growing, dreaming, and creating family traditions. But too often they stop there. They build and they assume it will somehow take care of itself. And then life happens. An illness, a death, a divorce, a transition they didn't plan for. And suddenly, what they've spent years building is now vulnerable. That's where this philosophy comes from. Build it and create it with intention. Building is the fun part, but building everything at once is not strength. Focus is. Think of it as spinning plates. It's important to get one plate up and spinning before you move on to the next. Remember, building is a season. You're allowed to have more than one dream, just maybe not all at the same time. Step 2, protect it. This is where most people get stuck. Protecting it is about responsibility. Legal planning, financial strategy, estate planning, and safeguards that honor what you've built. Protection isn't pessimism, it's wisdom. Protection is what allows what you've built to last beyond you. Step 3, pass it on. Legacy, not just inheritance. Legacy is designed and not accidental. Passing it on is not just about death. It's about teaching, clarity, and values. It's ensuring that your work, values, and resources continue to support the people you love. So, what's coming next? This year on Law Days and Lattes, we'll unpack this philosophy step by step, building, protecting, and passing it on. What are you building? And is it protected in a way that allows you to pass it on? You don't have to have everything figured out, but you do deserve a plan that honors what you're building and who you're building it for. Build it with intention, protect it with wisdom, and pass it on with love. I'm looking forward to spending some time with you each week in the coming year to help you plan wisely and move forward confidently and with purpose. If this message resonated with you, tune in with me each week. Subscribe, share, and start thinking differently about what success means to you. I'm Sidney Wheelan, and this is Law Days and Lattes. Have a great week, my friends.
This podcast episode contains general information for discussion purposes only. Each case is different and must be judged on its own merits. Missouri rules generally prohibit lawyers from advertising that they specialize in particular areas of the law. This show should not be construed to suggest such specialization. Nothing on this show should be taken as legal advice for any individual case or situation. This information is not intended to create an attorney-client relationship, and the listening or viewing of this podcast does not constitute an attorney-client relationship. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.